Yeah.
We're so pleased to welcome to this information session hosted by American Islamic College, where we'll be introducing two exciting professional development programs, the Certificate in Islamic School Teaching and the Certificate in Islamic Educational Administration. American Islamic College, I don't know if you all know about AIC, but I want to shortly talk about who we are. American Islamic College is an accredited institution committed to academic excellence and community service. In addition to our continuing education programs, we offer a Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Studies, a Master of Arts in Islamic Studies, and a Master of Divinity in Islamic Studies. It's a chaplaincy program. We are one of the two independent Islamic higher education institutes in the United States. We also offer, we just are actually launching our Madrasa Pathways to MA program, which is a very unique program, and we're the only institution actually right now in US that's offering this, which will allow students with a traditional Islamic studies background, such as Alamiya or Darul Uloom credentials, to complete their MA degree in an accelerated one-year track. And students of like Alamiya or Darul Uloom credentials do not have to have a BA degree to, to apply to this program. And we will also have an info session next Monday about our Pathways program. So if anybody's interested, we can send them the Zoom link. It's going to be next Monday at noon. So I'll talk about this certificate programs right now we're focusing on today were developed in response to the growing needs of Islamic schools across North America to better prepare educators and administrators who are not only grounded in the professional best practices, but also in Islamic values and pedagogy. You'll hear from some of our instructors today who will share more about the certificate programs and workshops. What you can expect, how they're structured, and how they can benefit your career and your school community. And so I'll right now take a few minutes to walk you to our website, where you can refer back, and then if you have, we can learn more about the certificate program after this Zoom session, if you want to, go back and look at it here. So here, this is our website, aicusa.edu. Second. Naza, can you actually put the link on a chat box for me?
Sure.
And then here you can go to continuing educations from our website. And then under the professional development, you can click on the certificate in Islamic school teaching. And here's the course fee.
Sorry, we can't see the page. We cannot see the page.
You cannot see the page?
No, we're just seeing everybody there in the Zoom link, but we cannot see the page.
Is anybody else
We see
it. We see it.
We see it.
We can see the page.
Yeah, I think you have to like slide it, like kind of,
Slide it.
sister.
We
If
can
you're on
see
your,
it.
if you're on your
I'm
phone,
sharing.
slide to the left. You must be slide to your left and you'll see it.
Yeah. So
Pardon?
certificate in Islamic school teaching. So the workshop fee per the if you want to just register for a workshop, the fee would be $300 per course. And then, but if you want to register for the whole program, the whole certification, it will be only $1,200. And so the courses, you can see the courses that you need for the certificate program. So we have two certificate programs. They both have that one common class, core class, prophetic leadership. And then for this certificate, you would need you would pick 4 out of 5 of this classes. And then you can click on here to register for a certificate program right here. And it would take you to the online form. And the workshop, you would click on this one right underneath. And then, so for the workshop, you have to put in the name what workshop you're
You
interested
just
in.
keep starting
to
an
register.
Excel, When I
And
get it
then,
on, I put it on.
Yeah, this is the course schedule for the workshops. So we did not offer the prophetic leadership actually in June 1st. So we will offer that end of the I'm not sure, we'll decide on the schedule for that class, but the rest of the class schedules are here. So these are all in Central Time at 6 p.m. So Tuesday, Thursdays, 6 p.m. Central Time. And then you see the, course description, the course descriptions right here underneath for each course. And so we have the same thing for the certificate, here. Certificate in Islamic Educational Administration. The same thing. And then these are the courses for the certificate. So you would receive a certificate from an accredited institution, AICs, with our AIC name, with this program. And then, so right now I'll introduce you to our wonderful Director of Communications and Recruiting, Naza Kawaja. And then she will introduce you to our instructors.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome from all over the United States, alhamdulillah, and internationally too. I did see Saudi and Canada on the list of places that people are zooming in from. So this is very exciting. It's exciting for us at AIC and for our instructors as well. We are, like Aslan said, an institution that is dedicated to providing just the utmost quality education for Islamic education and higher learning. And if you are not familiar with AIC and what we do, please advise you to check out our website. And also I did share in the chat a link to subscribe to our newsletter. This is where we share pertinent information. We'll share the events that are taking place, such as this one, the virtual info session. We also host academic lectures that are in person and also we stream online too. So wherever you are able to join, inshallah. So please do subscribe to the newsletter and stay in the know with all the things that we're doing here at American Islamic College. So thank you all, teachers and educators. I would like to express just our utmost respect and gratitude for everything that you do every single day, and your commitment to education. Sometimes the work goes, sometimes it's undervalued, and we do understand that too as an institution of Islamic of higher education. But the work that you do, although it may be undervalued, the impact is immeasurable. So alhamdulillah for everything that you all do day in and day out for your communities, for your students, for the greater public. Alhamdulillah. So welcome again. I would like to introduce Dr. Leila Shatara is an experienced and visionary educational leader with over 33 years of service and roles, including teacher, school leader, adjunct professor, researcher, and consultant. She holds a PhD in educational leadership and research methodology and has dedicated her career to school redesign that integrates Islamic values into the heart of learning and promotes compassionate leadership inspired by the prophetic model. Her expertise spans from early childhood to university level education and includes leadership at both the school and governance levels. Dr. Shatara is the founder and lead consultant of Darajat LLC and has played a key role in transforming Islamic schools across the U.S. to become more academically rigorous, sustainable, and aligned with Islamic principles. She has successfully guided several schools through accreditation processes while also supporting system-wide improvements through professional development for boards, administrators, and educators. Her consulting work emphasizes building strong foundations, redesigning curriculum and programs, and sustaining growth through Islamic pedagogy. We also have with us Habib Qadri. Habib Qadri is an educator, author, and youth activist. He's been in education for over 25 years and is the superintendent of MCC Academy. In August of 2019, Habib was awarded the National Distinguished Principal Award by the National Association of Elementary School Principals, where he was invited to the White House. the village of Morton Grove and Skokie, here right outside Chicago, awarding him with Habib Qadri Day for his work in education and building strong relationships in the community. He is currently appointed at the Harvard University Graduate School of Education Principals Advisory Board, where he is a part-time staff in the Professional Development Program. Habib is also chairman of the Illinois Coalition of Non-Public Schools, representing more than 1,500 private schools. In addition to teaching and administrating in both public and private schools, Habib has delivered over 1,000 lectures throughout the United States and several countries abroad on leadership, education, and youth. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to our instructors to introduce and give you a summary of what these certification programs and workshops will look like. We ask that we will have time for Q&A at the end of both of their sessions. And so we ask if you can please hold off with your questions until the Q&A session. If you'd like to place your questions in the chat, you are welcome to do so, and then we will address them during the Q&A session. Inshallah. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are in North America and across the globe. We're going to take some time to just explain, one, the reason for these certificate programs and why we felt there was a need. And then go through the courses and what they offer individually. Can you allow me sharing? Let me just begin before I start with the slide deck. So the Certificate in Islamic School Teaching is a series of workshops, and it addresses the role of the teacher, or what we are trying to shift to calling a murabbi or murabbiya, what the classroom atmosphere or classroom culture looks like through effective classroom management. Also looking at curriculum and shifting from what we have based on our textbooks from traditional companies and secular curriculum to Islamic worldview curricula. So we're looking at the role of the teacher, the classroom environment, the curriculum, and then beginning in early childhood, how we can frame and begin to reinforce and nurture the fitrah so that we really build grounded, connected children into their identity. And an additional course in Islamic studies for Islamic studies teachers, but also for all teachers to kind of embed the Islamic worldview. So it's a series of courses, and the required course is prophetic leadership, which we will offer later. And then there are 5 courses, as you saw, that are offered, and you can choose 4 from the 5. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about each of the courses, just to explain why we're doing this and what each course entails. And then we'll be happy to answer questions, inshallah.
You can share whatever you like, Sister Layla, or I can share the webpage, whichever you like. You let me know.
Okay. I am trying to share. Okay.
Well, as Dr. Layla gets that up, just I want you guys to understand a few things here. First, some of you guys might be thinking, why even consider this? And I want us to get a little background here. One of the things we've had the opportunity, Dr. Layla and myself have visited maybe more than 1,000, if we combine our schools, maybe about 300-400 schools we've combined and seen. And one of the things we realized sometimes when we've had some teachers who maybe have studied religious studies, or maybe an ulama or alama, but they don't have the teaching methods course. And one of the things we wanted to do was bridge a gap where someone's like, well, I already have a degree, and to pay for another master's, it might cost too much. The Islam schools might not be able to support us for that master's class, and it might be tough on me because I have to teach, I got my own family. we worked with American Islamic College, which is the only Islamic school that is accredited nationally, with another Islamic school, which mostly does more liberal arts classes. And so they were nice enough to say, hey, let's make a class which is going to be financially comparable and easy and safe. To think about 5 courses for $1,500 is not bad. And the idea is that if you are a certified teacher and you want to get your CPDU credits, you could use those certificates for those CPDU credits, inshallah. It depends on the state, so you could double check. But that was one of the other reasons too, is that when you are getting a certificate, because many of us have gone to workshops, but sometimes you might get a sheet or you get a worksheet. But now if you get a nice certificate, which is from a certified university, that's going to help you also maybe for your job opportunity, for salaries, and kind of show that there's a certified class or a small class workshop that you have taken. And so we thought 2 areas. One was on the academia side, and one was on the leadership side. And so this is where we thought this would be a great opportunity where someone now who's on the leadership side maybe had a teaching degree and maybe didn't have enough time to do another master's in school administration, or maybe you have a master's in something else, but you need to kind of tweak on that leadership skills. And we thought, what were 5 to 6 topics that would be very important? In the same way for teachers, what are 5 to 6 topics we think are very core of the tools that you need to be more of an effective teacher? So that was some of the reasons as a background. And we want to thank American Islamic College for giving this opportunity to make this happen. Inshallah ta'ala, we're so excited that all of you guys are here. And hopefully there's going to be Q&A at the end. So with that, Dr. Layla has her slide ready. Take it away, Dr. Layla.
Jazakallah khair. You're great on cue. So Bismillah. And in addition to what Brother Habib just addressed, in our global visits to schools, again, we've worked with schools in this country, but we've traveled quite a bit and visited schools across the globe. And as different as our countries and cultures are, our issues in our Islamic schools seem to be very similar no matter where we go. So for the Islamic school teaching certificate, one of the things that we're trying to address is, I'm not doing very well with this. One of the reasons that we put together these core courses is that although we have done amazing work in our Islamic schools, we're fairly new in North America as Islamic schools when we look at other private schools and other religious schools. And what Islamic schools have been able to achieve in that short period of time is amazing. But we're also, when we opened our Islamic schools, we copy and pasted what traditional public schools did. And over the years, we've been trying to improve and transform into more grounded Islamic schooling. So one of the things that one of the things that we're trying to do is shift from the secular to the Islamic worldview and foundations. So when we unconsciously have adopted secular norms, like if we think about our teachers go to colleges where the education is secular, we use textbooks from companies that are secular and have their own values embedded in them. And so although we're in Islamic schools and environments, and mashallah, the success, alhamdulillah, we've seen generations of success, we've also seen some concerns, like the concern about character development, the Muslim identity, all of these things. So when we're taking teachers who have a secular education, using secular textbooks for most of our day, and living in a secular society, and our children are immersed in this materialistic environment, it's a bit of a battle. It's actually a battle for us to embed this Muslim identity and the Muslim values. So we want to start thinking about how do we transform our entire school, beginning with the teacher in the classroom, but how do we begin to shift into more of a foundation in our tradition and move away from the secular. Why this change is necessary, and why start to look at things from a different lens. There's a gap between our beliefs and our secular teaching training. Our students face a dichotomy in identity. The dominant ideologies define our values, and how do we return to purpose-driven Islamic identity? reclaiming our role as murabbis, not just as a teacher who's teaching content, but as a guide to the heart and soul. And then how do we build classrooms that foster connection to each other and to Allah through practical culture building? And then, of course, rethinking curriculum, analyzing the content, and questioning the messaging, and teaching critical thinking. We're not going to throw out all our textbooks, but we need teachers and students to be able to look at the content that they're looking at and be critical analysts of that content. So the shift is to be more vision focused and returning to our original purpose. What is our purpose for existence? What is our purpose in seeking knowledge? What is our purpose in teaching? And Islamic education shouldn't be an alternative curriculum. It should be the focus. It's a worldview where our focus is Tawheed, teachers a moral guide, the classroom is a sacred learning space, and education really nurtures the whole human being, not just the intellect, the mind, and the soul. So with the core, the initial required workshop, prophetic leadership, I'll let Brother Habib address that. The first workshop in this certificate is becoming a murabbi or a murabbiya. And really this workshop allows the teacher to do some self-reflection. We delve into the research about the purpose of teaching, the purpose of learning, the purpose of seeking knowledge, and that's grounded in Tawheed. And this is a workshop that's really going to shift or transform the teacher from seeing themselves as someone who's coming in to impart knowledge and really more like a guide who guides them through tarbiyah, ta'deeb, and ta'aleem, recentering the purpose of why we learn and seek knowledge. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. The second workshop is transitioning curriculum from secular to Islamic. And this is a course, we're not going to take each subject and do integration of Islamic components. It's a series of lessons to help us look at what does the curriculum we have really teach, like looking, and this will be personalized for each person in the class to actually take what they teach, whether it's Islamic studies or social studies or English or math or science, and look at what is the content and what are the values and what is the messaging that our textbooks really impart on our students. Because if we're telling them you should be connected to Allah and focus on Allah and remember Allah in everything that you do, but then we're teaching them everything that disconnects them from Allah, like the science and the social studies where they don't really have the grounding there. This course would help teachers actually go back into their classrooms, whatever it is, and actually be more analytical and critical and be able to transition how they teach and what they teach and apply the Islamic worldview to whatever subject and grade that they are teaching. Effective classroom management. I'm sure you're all familiar with positive discipline, restorative justice practices. These are all, there's so many out there in the field. What we're looking at here is actually what is the prophetic tradition and how the Prophet ﷺ had a relationship with his students and how he engaged with those around him, and using that as the foundation for how to build a classroom culture. It comes with practical practices on how to design, even seating, classroom rules, how to have classroom meetings. So we look at the theory and grounded in prophetic tradition, but also come up with practical ways to implement that in the classroom, where it's about the relationship between the teacher and the students. And that's the source of building a positive classroom culture and really focusing on the relationships between teacher and students, and learning how to use their moral and ethical values to actually engage with each other. And that's what, and that's at the core of also of our teaching. Teachers are not just content, they're not just giving content, but they're also helping children become good human beings. The final workshop here is a early childhood curriculum. And in this, we actually go through the design of a curriculum and different things that you can embed in early childhood that help nurture the fitrah. And they are founded in storytelling and play and connecting to outdoors. And it's a series of lessons that actually will help any early childhood teacher in grades pre-K through third grade, actually, integrate or embed curriculum segments that help nurture the fitrah and reinforce the connection between the children and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, this is a response to a need where we want to become better Islamic schools, and we're seeing this in other countries, in Australia and where they have actually embedded like a national endeavor to do this, and are seeing transformative things happen in their schools. And we've seen our schools also in North America shift to this Islamic worldview with a lot of schools actually creating their own curricula and designing it from the ground up so that we're moving away from the secular. This is not just about and this program, this certificate program is not just about adding another credential. It's about unlearning what no longer serves us, like to really shift from that secular mindset about our values, how we define success, how we define values. Going through schooling and getting a degree should not be about getting a job and earning a living, although those are practical and necessary. We really need to shift to where we as a society place value on our true purpose in life, and that whether you become an engineer, a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, a chef, whatever your work is, your profession, that at the core of who you are is a good Muslim who is practicing and really living with their identity, with their shakhsiyya Islamiyya, and really grounded in who they are, so that they apply their tarbiyah no matter where they go and no matter what they do. And so we want to move away from this dichotomy of the secular and the Islamic, and inshallah, may Allah guide us to do what we can to give da'wah to our children. Brother Habib?
Yes. So again, Jazakallah khair for that. So, and I think as they get onto the website, just to show you some of the other topics on the leadership side, one of the things that we want you, and I think what Dr. Layla brought is a good point here. The idea is all of us right now, Islamic schools, there's becoming waiting lists, and more people are coming, but most students are coming. But we want to make sure our teachers are there and leaders are there who are also learning and updating their skills to make our school success. We want to look high. We want to think big. We can't think that, all right, we're just doing enough just to get by. But we also want to be those schools that, inshallah, where everyone wants to come. Muslims want to come, maybe non-Muslims want to come, because we just provide ihsan in what we do. And I think this is the idea. We felt two areas that we should start with. And the other area, as you just looked at some of the academia side for teachers, again, remember, if you don't want to take all five, you could still take one. Some principles you might realize this teacher just needs this one specific area, even if they're certified teachers, but they're really lacking in that nurturing, the murabi aspect of it, or that teaching aspect of it. So those, I think, will be great. Are we getting onto the website to show the leadership side really quick? And I think that's something to kind of keep in mind. And so at the same time, on the leadership side, we wanted to kind of also do the same kind of thing where it's not too stressful, but we want people when you're in the class to take it serious. So, It might not be graded, but might be a pass fail where and an assignment might be small, but it's more of a reflection piece on what you could implement. One of the key factors we want you guys to learn is that when we do this, it's not just to get that certificate, but it's like, okay, after this information, what can you do to implement in your school to make that school better, inshallah ta'ala, right? And then that's where, so I think what's going to help is that class will help you make sure that you get that one document that you need, that one thought process that you always thought about doing, but didn't have the time. Hopefully we'll make that happen. But so one of the things we wanted to do, one of the areas is called prophetic leadership. And seeing that a lot of times I've in a opportunity of teaching leadership for so many years at the university, after looking at through the Prophet, there was a lot of connections. So there's a book that came out, and we're going to go through that, realizing how it's so many different aspects of leadership skills that we learned through our Prophet. So, and we go through his seerah, working with leadership skills, traits that people talk about now. Just the top 5 scheduled. You don't have to go through all of it. Just give me the 5 titles, and then we're just going to go from there. Yeah, that's it. So, and you'll just kind of go ahead that. So on the website, when you go through each topic, gives you a small summary of each one. So you could go ahead and read that later. Number 2, one of the other aspects after understanding, hey, what did our beloved prophet, the greatest of leaders, say? And that class could be kind of later because we first started in summer, but summer we realized a lot of people are traveling, and we felt like maybe starting off later in the summer or early fall might be better. The second course is going to be building strong leadership in teams, because it's not going to be done by one person, right? So the whole idea is, how do you buy into people? Research says, right, that the people, it's not about money that makes people stay. It's about people feeling valued, feeling they could grow and they could be heard. There's a Harvard study on this, and they've done this with 300 schools and looked at it and say, hey, what makes people want to stay and go above and beyond? And for you to be successful, that means everyone else on your team has to buy into it. So that's kind of that focus there. Number 3 is climate culture. So you can have a great team, but then that means all the stakeholders have to feel like they are valued, right? So how does the students feel? How do the teachers feel? The office staff, the custodian. So what are strategies? So I'm a very practical person. I think both of us, me and Dr. Layla, we want to give you tips or skill sets that you can benefit and use. So it's not going to, I'm not going to be all about theory and like, okay, that's great. How do we implement it? But most of the suggestions we're going to do is stuff that we've seen schools do, our own schools have done. And so inshallah, that'll be great. Number 4, spirituality and faith beyond the classroom. The whole idea of this Islamic school is the religious aspect. So it can't just be that 40-minute class and says that's where faith is. How do you make it inculcated all over the school? Morning assembly, recess time, classroom, the regular teachers. How do you get it with the parents? What about the staff? So these are going to be strategies and ideas that things have been done, and then how you can best practice and put that in your classroom. And then the last one is adaptive leadership, and that all of us as leaders have our own style, right? So sometimes there are several different kinds of leaders, and sometimes you need to use different leadership for different individuals at different timings. So you'll see that plays a big part also. So the idea is to kind of give you guys an opportunity where you might hone in on some skills if you already have your master's degree in school administration. But if you don't, it's like I really wanted to. Right now might not be easy. This is the option. So with that basic kind of thing, we want to kind of open up a Q&A. I know that Dr. Layla also has some questions that we want to start off with to get some feedback, but we also want to make sure you have opportunities. So you could go ahead, text, you could not text, but type in your question. I think that will make it easier. So that way we could kind of see if they're same questions and we could just kind of respond in general. But by then, we'll give you a few minutes to type in your questions. What we could do is by then, Dr. Layla could throw out one question for ourselves too. Dr. Layla, what's your thoughts on that? And you could take it away.
Thank you. We wanted some feedback. I mean, we have our own reasons and our own research for why we proposed these courses in the way that we did. But we also want to hear back from you, like what's feasible, what's preferable. Do you see yourselves, signing up for the certificate program, or is it the preference one workshop at a time? Although we feel like to really transform and have learning really change a person, it's a process. It doesn't come from one workshop in one time. That's why it's a series of workshops over time. But we do want to hear back from you. We can start with some questions. I don't see the chat. Let me see. And if you want to ask a question, you can also raise your hand. Can we do one course at a time if we want to complete all 5 courses for the leadership program to ease the payment? You can sign up for one course at a time. You do save, there is a little bit of savings if you sign up for the certificate program. So, and I think again, depending on your school or where you are, seeking funding, if there's a budget for professional development in your school or title funds and things like that, you know, checking in with the leadership. But yes, you can sign up for individual workshops, or you can sign up for I don't know if you can scroll down on the webpage and show where the buttons are for the certificate and the workshop. I don't know who's screened. Oh, Mr. Osland. So up here, if you want to sign up for the certificate, you click on certificate program registration. And if you want to sign up for a single workshop, then it's the workshop registration. Are we both presenting? We are, I'm mostly doing the teaching, and Brother Habib is mostly doing the administrative leadership one. We may, if it's necessary, do some courses and swap, but right now that's pretty much it. I'm going to do the majority of the teacher ones, and he's doing the leadership administrative ones. If we sign up for a full certificate but want to do slowly, is this possible? It is designed to be done slowly. If you look at the schedule, we know we're very, like Brother Habib said, we're both very practical people. We know what it's like to work in an Islamic school and how much of your life and time it takes to be there. So we've paced them actually a couple of months apart, so that you take a course for 2 weeks, and there's some there's an action plan for you to go back and implement what you learned. And the hope is that with each course that you're taking what you learned and applying it to your workplace and to your job. And then a couple of months later, you'll take the next course. As you see that for the schedule, one is in October, and then the next one is the leadership one. There's one in October, then one in January, then April, and then December. So the 4 courses are really spread apart so that you're not overwhelmed by and over the material, but you also have time to really reflect and take what you learned and apply it. And that's the way this is designed. Is this, and Brother Habib, feel free to chime in. I don't want to, go ahead. You take the next few.
Is this course for certified teachers mainly, or for support staff too? It could be for anyone, because again, a lot of times you have to hone in, just like I still take PDs and I'm still looking at new courses, and where I teach at the university, they also have the other courses that they want us to also look at, because children are changing, parents are changing, teaching leadership styles are changing. So please, yeah, certified or non-certified, you can. But I just want to be very clear, this certificate does not make it like a teacher certification. So in the sense of, it's just a certificate on basic things, but like sometimes I got an email separately from someone like last week, and saying, hey, would this give me the same thing for my state certification process? I'm like, well, teaching certificate where you get your master's and you do student teaching, that's a different ballgame, but this is more of a certificate. So but if you're already a certified teacher and want to take some of these courses, I think it's great, because you're adding on. A lot of times, like even IT even for myself, you have a lot of executive education courses at the summers where I teach at Harvard. They're all principals who are certified, but they're just getting certificates in a specific area. I teach like a school called School Turnaround, and they could get a certificate in that. Evolving Vision, they could get a certificate in that. So it's that same kind of concept. You can be a certified teacher and still take a specific course on it to get a certificate in that area.
I think one of these all of these courses are meant to help us. Actually, they should be transformative for us. Working in Islamic schools, we don't necessarily have access to courses that are really founded in Islamic tradition, and sometimes we do workshops and things here and there, but there isn't anything grounded in our values, in our belief system. And this is meant to be transformative for the individual who goes through this process, that their view of their why they're teaching, or why they do what they do, why they're leading, how they lead, what the theory is in our tradition behind these processes, and it's a shift. So therefore anyone, a support staff, a teacher, assistant teacher, administrators, anyone can take these courses, and they're beneficial. And when a person changes, like we're talking about human beings changing. If we're changing, that's how change happens in our schools. It doesn't just happen, without effort and seeking knowledge, growing in knowledge, practice, all of that, inshallah. I think there was a question before, Brother Habib. Which of the certificates, that's more about Islamic studies. Can you talk about the Islamic studies course, Brother Habib?
The Islam, what's your question? The Islamic studies, for the leadership Islamic studies?
This one, it's called Islamic Studies Teaching Strategies in the Classroom.
Oh yeah. So one of the things that we wanted to look at is that, hey, we all have books and there's content, but the question becomes, how do you disseminate it in a way where it impacts the child, right? And the idea of the Murabbi is really connecting the kids from hearts to hearts and really making sure there's that personal relationship, and not just regurgitating, remembering information, and then taking a test. And so what we're trying to look at is giving strategies to teachers. Okay, if you're elementary teachers, what are some strategies to teach some specific subject matters, and also middle school and elementary. And so that's one of the things that we wanted to kind of focus, is to give ideas and thoughts and what's out there. And now there's also maybe online programs, and you see different websites that were coming out. So we're trying to just kind of build all our tools to be more effective teacher, inshallah, in the classroom. Is one of the areas that we're trying to focus on in that class, separating from also the school-wide programs that we're going to do. So some are content-wide, some are school-wide, and how do you also work with your other teachers and your regular teachers to reinforce some of the things that you're trying to teach in your religious studies class.
Yeah. Okay, next question for you, Brother Habib. Are there assignments that would need to be completed in order to get the certificate? And are these pre-recorded sessions or live sessions?
I think we could speak to American Islamic College on the regarding recording or not. So I think, that might be just because sometimes things happen in life. The idea that what I always wanted to do is, it's an assignment, yes. We want to make it not overwhelming, but enough, but an assignment that's hopefully a reflection piece that you could put into practice at your school. That's the key for me. I remember trying to give you pop quizzes and tests like that, but we want to, because you guys are all adults, you're all there. But what we realize, a lot of times people come to workshop, and then if you don't take care of it in the first 48 hours, there's like a 70% chance, I remember reading this research, where you don't go back to it again. So what we want to do is, right in that moment, we are going to have class time to do that self-reflecting piece the last 10, 15 minutes, or in between. We might even do it in the middle so people don't just leave. But the idea is to take time there. So we're using that hour and a half also not to just give you information, have discussions, but then give you an opportunity to implement and that self-reflect on on goals and strategies and implementations of a playbook for your school, inshallah, on the certain subjects. That's Dr. Laila, any thoughts on that? I mean, from the leadership side.
There are assignments at the end, but they're not assignments. They're not tasks to do. They're things that will help you do what you already do and enhance it. It'll be things that are practical and that you can implement in your classrooms and in your schools, because the goal is to help you in your work, in your field. It's not to test you. but to help you do what you need to do when it comes to helping our children. The sessions are live, but I think we can record them and maybe
Yes, we
later
can.
share. But the way we set them up, it's 2 weeks, two classes. So hopefully they're manageable. But if something happens, inshallah, a class will be recorded and you would have access to it. But again, being live is so much better because you have those conversations and you have that opportunity to hear others and learn from others as well. Let me see. What I meant is that would you take a certificate as an Islamic studies educator? Saida, would you mind unmuting and explaining your question? I don't think I understand what you're asking.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So my question was, so this is when you sign up for the course, is it like a certificate that you will earn at the end of the course? And are you going to be able to use that certificate as, if you're looking for a job and then you wanted to apply for a job as an Islamic studies educator to work in a school, in an Islamic school, would you be able to use that certificate for a job? Or how does it work? That's my question.
The certificate doesn't give you an Islamic studies certification. It's, if that's what you're asking, like if you wanted to be an Islamic studies teacher, are these workshops geared toward that? Is that the question? Like if you wanted to apply as an Islamic studies teacher?
Yeah, no, if I sign up not for the workshop, if there is a certificate, if there is a program, is there a program that you can sign up for to earn a certificate at the end, or a diploma, or that's my question mainly.
Brother Habib?
So I think
I
there's
think
two-
she's asking if, yes, you will get a certificate, but this will be for professional development. So this is not a guarantee that you will be an Islamic school teacher, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, so it's not guaranteed that you can use this certificate.
You can use the certificates for your, credentials, but it doesn't mean you're a certified teacher now.
They're not a certified
Am I
teacher.
right?
Right. Yeah. So what you want to look at is look at it two ways. One becomes content learning, right? So suppose you studied religious studies and you have that degree, but you have no teaching skills. Now, some people might do a whole master's, but what we're trying to do is give you some skill sets through 5 courses on areas that would benefit you and help you in teaching. Now, can some schools and some principals look at that and say, oh, wow, well, you've taken some courses. I think some principals will say, oh, you know what, that's great. That gives you maybe a higher, maybe look, if you do a good interview and say, well, you know what, this is some skill sets, at least she went above and beyond to try to hone into on her skills. With her religious studies, that plays a part and that could benefit. But is that guaranteed? No, but can it help you? I think it can as administrator. The second aspect, if you're getting a diploma in Islamic studies, American Islamic College has a course where you could get a degree separately, but that's like a 4-year, 3-year program, and Ms. Oslan could give you more information about that.
That's what I'm interested in.
So that's, yeah, you could do that, but this is right now for people maybe already have a degree in religious studies, or maybe have a degree in something else and have taken some religious courses quite a bit, but they don't have the pedagogy or the teaching skills or the strategies, and this is where we're trying to help bridge that gap, inshallah.
Well, I do have a degree in Islamic studies, and I do have experience teaching Islamic studies for more than 10 years. But I thought that course is a certificate that you can earn at the end to use it here to work, right, in an Islamic school. That was my question. But if sister,
I think as school leaders, Brother Habib and I both, and when we look at resumes, we absolutely are always looking for someone who's continuing their education and their learning, whether they're attending webinars, taking extra courses. So I'm speaking from that perspective, and Brother Habib can add to that, is that's one of the main things we look at. Because you can have a degree and it's been 10, 15 years since you earned that degree. And if you're not continuing to progress and learn and develop your knowledge and skills, that says something. So doing something like this, whether it's one workshop or the whole certificate, I think absolutely will impact, inshallah, it will impact how the school leader looks at your resume for sure. Brother Habib, what do you think?
I mean, what I'm trying, yeah, I agree. You have your degree and now you got some skill sets. I think that can help you in your opportunities to get jobs. Well, the whole reason we kind of thought was, as both of us have been principals for more than 20 years, we were looking at what courses would help them. If you're a leader, to help you get that skill set, and if you're a teacher, those areas. And I think any principal sees the 6 courses you've taken and that they know it's from a university, and there might be a chance that they might even know us as instructors. I think it'd help you, inshallah. Allah knows best, but. And kindly share some diploma, please. You got it.
Okay. I'm going to put my email address in here. I don't know if you have any questions specifically about the teacher course or certificate. Brother Habib, do you want me to, you want to put yours in here?
Sure. HQAC29@gmail.com.
Oh, you want me to type it? Oh,
Yeah, if you do that, and I have assistant with me too, so she'll kind of work with me on this. Just
okay. What is it?
HQEC29@gmail.com. HQ, like Padre, EC29@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Are there any other questions or comments?
Do we have any hands up? Well, we ask that you please pass it on to others. I think it would be a unique thing that we want to have. We want to thank American Islamic College for you when we pitched this idea to even take an opportunity to kind of maybe make this happen. But I do feel that this could be something. Oh, Sister Sophia. I think she has she's been, there's a raising hand. I just
Sophia,
know.
yes.
It is, it's me. Assalamu alaikum. Are you able to hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Assalamu alaikum, Aslan and Nazha and everyone else from AIC that's on the call. Nazha, I just wanted to say thank you so much for reaching out and making sure that us AIC students were a part of the call. This certification is a huge time commitment. It's a financial commitment. And so I think we're kind of dragging our feet in registering. And so this really gave me a peace of mind that, yes, this is definitely something that I want to do. I want to be a part of. So I really just wanted to raise my hand and say thank you. Thank you to all of you, to the educators for taking out the time. I had a question earlier in the call, but I think it's been answered. I'm currently a student at AIC pursuing my master's in Islamic studies. I don't have an education background. My background professionally is in global supply chain management. So I thought that this would be an excellent way for me to kind of bridge that gap in my knowledge. I'm recently pivoted towards working with a Islamic K-12 institute here in the Chicagoland area. I'm working as a TA. And so earlier in the call, my question was, if I don't have a teaching certification, would this still be a good fit for me? Would I still be your target audience? And it seems like, yes, it seems like you don't necessarily have to have a teaching certification to enroll and enroll with this.
Correct.
Okay, great.
Correct.
Well, that was it. I just wanted to give a big thank you, and I had my question answered during the call. So that's all from me.
Looking forward to seeing you in the courses.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
And if you're at Islamic school, what you could do is you could talk to the principal. A lot of times they have professional development money set aside, especially when they have Title II. I know Trump is kind of taking that away. Inshallah not, but. And that money, then sometimes they can allocate $250, so it can cut down on half your cost. we try to keep that price reasonable, 300. So even if sometimes they balance 100 to 200, you could use that money towards this class. I think some schools would be able, willing to do something like that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be wonderful, Mr. Qadri. I will be sure to send you an email right after this call.
He's absolutely right, though. I do encourage everyone to do that. I think as principals, we of course we love for our staff to continue their learning journey. And most principals, I think I wouldn't say most, but I've often seen that principals do the 50-50 when it comes to professional development. And some schools are able to do the whole thing. And so kind of, because it is the school and the students that benefit. So it's an investment in the students in school when you learn and grow. So push for 75%.
I will do that. I will. I'll take my shots.
Is there a way for any of the Islamic teaching workshops to be offered to school as a professional development for their teachers? You mean like taking the workshop and just teaching it to your school separately? Camila? If you don't mind, like maybe unmuting and explaining. Yes, I guess. Oh, your mic's not working. Okay. Is that what you mean? So these are offered by AIC and through AIC. So we wouldn't be able to just kind of take it and just teach it to your school as a separate thing. What I would recommend is that if it's something that you want for all your teachers, is maybe you send a lead teacher or someone who could take them and take the learning and then go back and teach it. And that's a possibility.
Or they can actually have 20 students. We don't mind actually teaching to the, whole
I-
institution. We don't mind that. But if you have to have a minimum, yeah.
So,
We rather have them come and take the classes with us.
if you can have everyone, I mean, a school pays for it, yes. I'm still not clear, like, do you want it just so that your school has a separate class, like they're on their own or they're like a cohort? Or are you looking at it from the financial aspect? Like, I'm not sure. How many teachers are you talking about here? Okay.
So just think about it this way
Yeah.
too. If you have 12 teachers, you could still all join the class that's already there. And American Islamic College also, if you have a school and you have more than 5, 6, they'll work out a price for you too. So there might be a financial
Yes.
benefit too.
Yeah.
You could talk to
Yes.
Mrs. Aslan, who's like our liaison, and then that could be a possibility, and she could give you more information.
Yes, there is an institution organization discount if you register more than a certain number. So just reach out to them at the registrar, please. Brother Habib, Sister Kauthar says, Salaam alaikum. I am a Quran and Arabic teacher. Would it be beneficial for me to enroll in this certificate program?
Like I would say anyone, even if you're a teacher, but this can help you hone in your skills, and because the idea is how do you become better to just benefit our kids? That's the whole purpose of why we do education. So I think it would benefit you, and then also it could help some of you and all of us. Even though I have my master's, I took some other certificates. Why does that help out? It can help you out maybe from a financial perspective. It can help you first and foremost just to help become a better educator. But then at the same time, if you're moving, you're trying to look for another job, this can help. And the reason why we partnered up with American Islamic College, because they're the only 2 Islamic institutions who are accredited nationally as a university.
Yeah.
When is this? And then Zaytuna, but they only just do liberal arts classes. And this is the one we built that relationship. And because we're close by in Chicago and I kind of knew of them, and we felt that this could be some possibility. And many of you guys, if you ever come to Education Forum, you see them on it there. And so this is how we kind of started that kind of discussion. And Ms. Khawaja was one of those liaisons that we started this process. So
yeah. So I think I've been doing this for more than 30 years. I don't think I've ever stopped taking webinars, courses, like it's the constant learning that's important. And I think this we're really Brother Habib and I really along with the leadership at American Islamic College anticipate that this is going to be the go-to certificates. Like this is going to be that once people take these workshops and see the benefit, that it'll be something that we will hear about, that, oh, I need to go take that and register for this, inshallah. And again, it is about really transforming our schools from the leadership all the way down to what's happening in our classrooms. And it's what would you do as former principals to encourage teachers at your Islamic school to take the certification? You said discounts could be arranged for the group, right? Yes, you can reach out to Sister Oslin about discounts. One of the ways you could encourage teachers is to help them cover the cost as much as you can. I often did in schools where we didn't have a big PD budget. We did 50-50, even degrees. We would pay 50% of the program or the workshop, and then the staff member would pay 50. So I don't know if you have that ability, but that's something to think about. Also, I think just encouraging staff to we should always be learning as Muslims. And seeking knowledge is a lifelong journey. So I hope that answers your question. But I think helping with the finances would really encourage them. Certificate in, yes, the first workshop begins July 22nd, inshallah. I'm excited. So I'm looking forward to meeting some of you in the workshop in a couple of weeks. Although I didn't see anybody's beautiful faces today, except Sophia.
Sophia's.
Are there any other questions? We're over the hour. I don't know how long this was allotted for, probably an hour.
Yeah, so we did a lot in hours, so we'll probably just go ahead and wrap up, inshallah. If you have any additional questions or if any other questions do come up, please feel free to reach out to registrar@aicusa.edu. We would be happy to answer. Just to recap, inshallah, we are more than willing to work with principals in the schools. If you have a group of teachers or admin, please reach out, and we can provide that introductory promotion for you all. I've also included the link to subscribe to our newsletter. That's where we will share information, program start dates and things like that. It sounded like there was an individual possibly interested in the BA or MA program, the degree program. In that case, yes, definitely please reach out to us. We can help guide you in all of that. Oslin did mention earlier that we are going to be hosting a virtual info session for the Madrasa Pathways program. Just in case you all, or if you know anyone who is interested in getting that accelerated MA degree, I did share the link in the chat to register for that virtual info session, which will take place, inshallah, Monday, the 14th at 12. And like she mentioned, we are the only accredited institution that is providing that sort of pathways program. And just again, thank you all so much for your time and for your dedication to what you do day in and day out for the wider community, for your own communities. And we are so grateful for everything that you're doing. And just as Dr. Leila said, pursuing an education is a lifelong journey, and that is something that no one can take from you. Your landlord might want to take the apartment back, and the bank might need this and that, but no one can take that education from you, and no one can take what you've learned from you. So inshallah, thank you so much for joining, and feel free to reach out with any additional questions. Inshallah, we are recording this session, and so if you'd like the recording, please let us know and we'll share that with you. And then I will be placing it into our newsletter. So if you've signed up for the newsletter, you'll see this recording in the next newsletter, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Leila and Habib, for joining us today. And this was so beneficial for me too, just all the information that was shared. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Jazakumullah khair, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Who's that?